is there anything you want to address?
Yeah. I've got one eye. Got an eye infection. Might as well start there.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like we've started.
No, I know. It's going.
It is going.
Everything's on board.
See if I can find something to start us off. Have I got anything? I think I deleted everything. I've deleted everything.
Everything.
I can show you a Christmas... Home videos are fucking strange, mate. Have you got home videos in your family?
No, we never had a camcorder when we were kids, so they never really recorded anything.
Yeah, do you do it like nowadays? Have videos of iPhone? Do you document any happy occasion?
No, not really, and not without the intention of making a video out of it. I don't just have footage of
like you and your Christmas wife having a good time.
2012 or
yeah,
whatever.
You don't have that?
No.
It's the most psychopathic thing in the world. I think it's so strange because we've had them. My family's had them, and I recently found them all again when I was down because it's coming to Christmas. Oh, let's look at all the old videos. And it's like, it just feels so strange. If you were ever to show your home video to anybody else, I don't think they'd understand. Well, it would be so surreal, so voyeuristic.
Yeah.
Because it's not even that like, oh, you're doing stuff embarrassing. It's like, no, this is me when I was like 12. You have no idea what that's like. You probably recognise me when I was 16. I was just full of anger and burning things, poking my eyes out, and then I do feel that I feel more ambitious now that I've got this eye patch.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Ready to take over some shit.
Ready to dominate.
Yeah.
Just ready to, like, I don't know, invest in Starbucks in the 80s or whatever it is. Yeah. Number one, number two.
Yeah,
did in Austin Powers.
Give me $3,000 in white cats and swivel chairs.
White cats.
Yeah,
the white cats.
Like a Bond villain.
That's the Love Cats.
I don't know.
The Love Cat.
I know that song. I didn't know that's what it was.
Cats?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the White Cats.
It was a Bond reference.
Yeah, right. Okay.
White cats, swivel chairs.
Right.
Like a Bond villain.
Right.
With an eye patch.
Yeah. So I'm feeling good.
And with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I got a fucked up eye infection that seems to be not going away. I've had it for like 4 days.
Well,
5
I saw
days.
you on Sunday afternoon. It's now Wednesday.
Yeah. And it's gotten, like, the eye's gotten a little bit worse, but the rest of me's gotten, like, way worse. And that's usually, like, probably a good sign or something, I don't know. But, like, I went to a pharmacist. The pharmacist was like, oh, yeah, just take these eye drops for a bit and then go to a doctor if it doesn't work. And it's not working, so if
isn't that a bit too late? Like, for your eye?
Your eye's gone.
Like, don't you want it to be better quickly?
Yeah, but the doctor's just going to go through the same process, right? It's going to try these eye drops, take this medication, see if it goes well.
Just give me penicillin now.
That'll kill
please.
me. So
have we not been through this? Are you actually not allergic to it?
No, I think I actually am, but I don't believe I am. But medically, I don't want to take that risk when I'm already sick. I'll take it when I'm at my strongest.
Right, okay.
Like after a cage match with something that I can defeat.
I'll take penicillin when I'm at my strongest. Kind of defeats
See
the
if
object.
It destroys me
or
not. But my dog just, I think what happened was my dog just booped me. Yeah. Which is just like, she just came in to say hello and then just like nose butted me right on the eyeball.
Oh, right.
And then just loads of dog snot just kind of got into my system and then my body was like, you're not dog snot, what are you doing?
Oh, right.
So I think that's all that's kind of happened. So just write it out and see what happens. Yeah, go to a doctor, try and get it sorted because it is definitely getting worse.
Yeah.
And it is like not great being sick. But there was a part of me that was like, oh yeah, it'll just be fine, just wash it out. I used to get hay fever as a kid. Hay fever is the same as dog snot, isn't it?
No.
No, it might not be. Allergic to seeds, or whatever it is.
Pollen.
Is pollen plant seeds? What's pollen?
Pollinate. It's not a seed. So if a seed is a baby, pollen is sperm. You're allergic to plant sperm.
Okay. Same as like being allergic to cats. You're actually allergic to cat judgment. It's like
it's the saliva, isn't it?
Yeah,
or something?
Cats spit.
Yeah.
And they spit on themselves.
Yeah.
And then they give it to the world.
Yeah.
And then that spit gets in your eye.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So yeah, I've been having... you're not meant to wear an eye patch. I found that out, but it does help me a lot when I do it in brief stints.
Yeah.
You're meant to like keep it out and dry as possible. And they're like, oh, well, if it's damp and dark, bacteria grows.
Yeah,
but
I
isn't
can
it
see
like, yeah, there's that. But you do itch it, and every time you itch it, it grows even more.
Yeah,
so it's
that's not
every
good.
now and then, like if I'm going to sleep, for example, I'm going to rub my eyes in my sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cover my eye when I go to sleep.
You tried just spraying Dettol in your eye or something?
Dettol wipes, they didn't help.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
Yeah, like facial wipe. The whole thing is like keep your hands clean and just deal with it. It's just like, but there's the thing is like with diabetes, it can get much worse because most diabetics are more likely to lose their eyes.
Ugh.
Eyes and feet, because that's where the smallest blood vessels are.
Yeah.
And I've actually got a diabetic eye test in like 2 weeks.
Oh, right.
So I might ring them up and be like,
so you're going to pass that with flying colours?
Might just be like, hi, my eye's full of goop. Is that fine? They say if you do get blurred vision, then you do need to go to a doctor. And I haven't had any of that.
But in like both eyes?
No, like I can close one eye, I can still see in the other one if the eye patch is off.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can still see. It's just irritated and swollen and sore. Just go, it's fine. But it just sucks because it kind of messes you up elsewhere.
Huh.
Just being sick, I just don't like being sick, and then diabetics get more sick.
Yeah.
I say diabetics, I think just unhealthy people. Like I'm sure I believe there is a thing. The diabetics do take longer to recover.
Yeah.
Because they've got shittier blood. But I think as much as I could say, oh, it's my diabetes, I think no, it's unhealthy. People take longer to get better because they've got worse immune systems.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, my dog looks at me funny now. Doesn't trust me when I got the eye patch on. It's like what's going on?
All the animals at my mum and dad's house that I left behind don't like it when I wear hats. All of them.
I don't like it when you wear hats.
The cats, the dog, just freaks them out.
As in they would take it off? Or they bark?
No, they're a bit more almost like they don't recognise you. Like they do, but
he's dressed for autumn, but it's still spring.
There's something different about you, and I don't trust it.
Yeah. He's still thinking he's going to use hats.
Yeah.
Some people never change.
Yeah.
No matter how much I throws at them.
It just makes you want to be like, well, maybe I'll put a hat on you. See how you like it.
All right. It's a good thing you haven't got pets.
Yeah.
Or fish. Where does balaclava? You said you'd have fish again. Prawns.
There was shrimp.
Oh. The shrimp is a smaller prawn?
You know what? I don't know the difference. I think they're the same.
Semite. Sorry, I put together some notes from last week's episode.
They're just coming to you.
Yeah. As you you can't remember what it's called. I was like, oh, trivia from the podcast. Okay. Cool. A Semite, I can't remember, but it made sense.
Okay.
It was something along the lines of, I think I've actually still got the tab open actually, is a member of any of the peoples who speak or spoke a Semitic language, including, in particular, Jews and Arabs.
Okay.
So maybe an anti-Semite isn't necessarily against Jewish people, it's against Arabic people and Jewish people.
Or just a type of language. I hate the French language.
Yeah, I hate that Pig Latin. Was Pig Latin real? Oh my god.
It was never spoken by a country.
No.
It wasn't
adopted by the pigs.
Speaking Pig Latin. That would be strange.
Yeah. Just kind of a jokey thing, wasn't it?
It is I don't know.
Egg snay on the gravy, something like that. That was Pig Latin, wasn't it?
I don't know where it came from, but it's been around for a long time, whatever it is.
I did have another note. I can't remember if I actually kept it.
What about Semites?
No, I think it was about... Oh, yeah, Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus was born on 1.
Oh,
and apparently there was never a 0. It goes from -1 to 1.
So Jesus wasn't born, he just was.
He just came along. He was born in 1 AD, Anno Domini, which means in the year of the Lord.
Right.
In Latin. Or 1 CE, which is current era. I don't know why there's another definition for it. There's also BC, before Christ, and BCE, before current era. So yeah, Jesus was born 6 days before 1 AD.
Right.
Which could be -1.
So it could be... Yeah, it could be... That doesn't make any sense.
No, there was a lot of people being like, we don't understand how this person came up with it. Some Hungarian scientist or whatever came up with this theory and it was based on the king at the time and all this kind of stuff, and they didn't understand. But that's basically if to answer our question before, it's not when he died; it's when he was born. Is what the calendars.
So he was still born in a void.
Yeah. Well, he was born before himself.
Yeah,
it's basically the thought.
Yeah,
he was born on the 25th of the 12th. I think. Was it? Was the Romans were about then when they were Caesar after AD.
That's what was. They took that afterwards, didn't they? Wasn't that one of those?
Like, wasn't it August is Augustus Caesar?
Yeah, like
July was something else.
Well, the 25th of December was or that period was something that they took from the. What the hell are they called? Pagans.
Yeah. Winter solstice.
Same with like Easter and all of that. Christianity was like, yeah, we'll have that. Fuck off.
Yeah. So something around then.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jesus died about 30 years in the current era. In the current year after he was Jesus their Lord?
Who's
Lord and Saviour, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Who's Lord?
Christians.
Yeah, well,
Jesus was the Lord,
Son
and
of
God was like once a god was like a laird.
Well, he said a laird is a Scottish landowner.
Yeah, I got land for a mate when I was like 13.
I got one of those.
No, I didn't buy it for you.
No. I got one of those from an ex, and it actually made me worry because it was like,
now they know.
Well, no, it made me worry last year when we were buying a house because there was a thing on the mortgage application that said, "Have you ever, or do you own any land?" I was like, well. Technically, I guess maybe, and this is a mortgage application. Like, if anyone's gonna know, like maybe they'll know.
Yeah, I think you need to sign it.
You're Laird Steve,
famous Laird Steve.
Yeah,
from the famous man who also owns many stars.
One of the other 4 million people who bought a blade of grass in this. This
I think it was like
plot.
a foot by foot was how it was described in the in this.
And I got a little letter that said you can come and you can camp here whenever you want for a small fee. So it's like great, so I can just go camping like I'd normally do,
but instead go all the way to Scotland.
Go all the way to Scotland, and it was a pain in the arse part of Scotland as well. It was like you go all the way up. And then all the way back down again because of the way that the little peninsula works.
Where land is a foot by foot for about £10.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not worth the fuel, really.
Not worth the hope.
Yeah.
Just be like, I just assume you scammed me.
Yeah.
You've been scammed?
I've had one of those phishing things before. I think there was only... Usually, 9 times out of 10 I can spot them, but there was one that I got from O2 like a couple of months back that came as a text asking me to, because I'd recently renewed a contract, and it was like, we just want you to adhere to these terms and conditions because your contract's due to start next week, which it was. So I went through and clicked accept and ended up buying a phone for somebody. Which was impressive and annoying because it was like £1,500 just
Jesus Christ
gone because it was a phone and a 2-year contract. I was like, oh, okay, fine. And that was like 2 weeks of dealing with fraud people. That was pain in the arse.
Yeah, I got when I was living in our house at uni, I needed some quick cash, so I applied for a credit card for like £300, but it didn't arrive for 3 months, so I assumed it didn't get passed or whatever. I moved out. The landlord, I mean, we left that house in a pretty bad state.
Oh, yeah. I showed up after you'd moved out to get a few things, and the guy was there. the guy that the landlord sent was cleaning the place out, and he was just hating his life. So, oh, God, he was fucking miserable.
And I mean, I don't even think we did anything in particular. It's just like the house was without electricity for X amount of months, and there was freezers and fridge. I mean, there was like firework debris in the wheelie bins, and
there was a lot of garbage in that place.
I don't even remember.
This is long after I'd moved out because I think you were in there with
I was living there for a bit longer.
Yeah, well, the summer of Nick.
I was working like a car
dealership. Yeah,
but that credit card arrived after I moved out with the PIN, so he obviously, or whoever was living there, just maxed it out, which probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, there's a lot of damage here. I can remember being like, I don't think I'm going to get my deposit back. So,
yeah.
Yeah, there was that. So I don't remember it being in a good state. But yeah, they maxed out that credit card, and I was like, I'm not. They contact me like 2 years later, like, your credit card's been maxed out, and now you're going to have a CCJ. And I was like, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you need a police account to open this up. Like, okay, I'll do that. Did the police? I said, well, we need a letter from your credit card company. Okay, let's go to my credit card company. Well, we need a letter from the police. Okay, I'm going to go back to the police. And it was just like nobody wanted to deal with it, and eventually it just got dropped.
Oh, right.
But it was just like a long time of just like, again, when Final Cut Pro, just things are just done inefficiently. I just get a bit, for God's sakes, I can't be dealing with this.
Yeah.
It just frustrates me. But yeah, I know someone who got scammed recently, and yeah, it was just one of those things where I think I'm just so antisocial now, it's more difficult to scam me. Like, even if like even my even my internet provider calls me now, I'd be like, can I just call you back on the number that's on your website and not this weird random mobile phone number, please? Like, yeah, sure, but we just want to ask a few questions. Oh, brilliant, you can ask me that when I phone you back. And I just never phone them back. Then I just hurl abuse at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think to scam me now, you have to do it like directly without contacting me at all.
Face to face, like.
Yeah. I think I think I'm, like I said, we're quite antisocial. I think just, it becomes more difficult to converse and negotiate with an antisocial person. I don't want any of this. Yeah. I was saying about my internet provider wanting to give me a free TV free view thing. It's like, oh, it's just cost £1 extra a month, and I'd be like, I don't want it. Yeah, but it's only £1. I don't want it. I'll pay you £1 now if you fuck off. Now, I'd love that. It'd give me even more joy. Just send me a photo of yourself fucking off, and I'll give you £1. Just leave me alone.
You personally, it's not even the company you work for. I'll give you £1.
You, Jared.
Yeah.
You, fuck off. Oh, YouTube's changed it's all its stuff. I can't remember if we actually
okay.
talked about
I think we went briefly into it the other day.
Yeah. And it was like, now it's like, now they want to make sure that there's kid-friendly stuff. We're obviously not kid-friendly, nor do we want children like watching our stuff, really.
No.
But they're becoming more and more strict on classifications of you. Like, are we a violent podcast? Are we a violent video? Well, not really, but I'm sure you could interpret it that way in one way.
Violence?
Yeah, well, I thought swearing. A lot of YouTubers have like swearing. You can't swear in their videos because swearing gets them demonetized. If they swear in the first 20 minutes of a 3-hour video, they'll get demonetized. But if they swear in the end 20 minutes,
like
they might be fine.
To me. There's a lot of famous gaming YouTube things that they swear constantly.
Yeah, but then a lot of them are demonetized, or they make money from gaming,
from something
Twitch,
else.
Something
yeah,
like. Okay. But so I think we might just turn into the skid and just be like, "Hey, YouTube, Jared, go fuck yourself," and then just be like, "Yeah, just you won't like us."
Yeah,
just make all those flags. That would bring me much joy. Probably a bad business decision. We should probably stop swearing and stop having all this stuff. But I go like, no, I don't do this. If it comes down, we don't swear that much anyway. Just every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for emphasis.
Yeah. So yeah, don't get scammed.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
All right.
Productive week-ish. Yeah, we did some things. Met up with a fellow podcaster, which is quite cool, who bumped into us at Stoke-on-Trent, said, why don't we have a drink and shoot some shit? It was good. It was Dan from the It's Football Not Soccer podcast, which is an NFL draft podcast in Stoke.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think 4 hosts sitting around chatting and doing stuff, and then penalties and punishments they do if they lose, which sounded like a lot of fun. Yeah,
I've never been like an NFL person, and not like purely through lack of trying. Like I've never given it a go. I know you used to be into it quite a bit.
Yeah, I used to play it as a kid, and then I used to. It's still a sport that, like, if it's on, I'll watch it and I'll really get into it. But I'm just terrible with data.
Yeah.
So I'm the same with English football. I'm just like, I can't. I enjoy watching the World Cup tournaments and stuff like that. But I don't really have an alignment to a team unless it's England that's playing or whatever. I just enjoy the actual sport, like the intensity of like a comeback run and all that kind of stuff. But I couldn't tell you the names of players or their positions as necessarily.
No.
But like, I just enjoy the sport, and I'm like that with American football. When there's like a good game going on, it's really good. But yeah, I can't keep up with the trivia.
No. But their punishments seemed fun. Like they do. They,
So it's a draft. So it's like each season of the sport, I think they have like a fantasy football team. And then the person who comes lowest in the ranks, I'm assuming, has to perform a forfeit. And the forfeits are right up our street. So one was, do a tasteful nude calendar.
Tasteful, yeah.
Which sounds like the kind of thing that we might we would have done to ourselves.
Yeah.
If we were
and then
trying to motivate.
I think that the most recent one...
it was like putting them on a billboard.
Yeah, he had to be on a billboard advertising erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
And they were going to like pull all the money in and pay for it to be up in the middle of town.
Yeah. Which again, right up our street. It's definitely had sense of humour. So yeah, it was good fun. And yeah, chatting to another local person about podcasting stuff and stuff like that was quite nice. So yeah.
Yeah.
We know one other person now.
We do. We
locally.
do. And we're willing to meet more. So get in touch.
We're willing. We're willing.
To...
Well, see, I'm all up for it. My energy levels really dived into it a little bit when I'm not dying from ocular dysentery.
You are very low energy this time.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not a carrier at all. Like, as far as... Like, if I'm feeling shit, I can usually rely on you to like keep the energy.
I'd say that's true.
But I'm not like, oh, you can't be bothered. Wow.
Well, I'll join you.
Yeah. Let's make this thoroughly disappointing for everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's the first step that we want to do. We want to get in touch and get to know loads of other podcasters.
Yeah.
And loads of other creative people in our local area and the UK, because it would be cool to do some more collaborations. And it's just another one of those reasons where you get in your own head if you can't do something or something shouldn't be done a certain way.
Yeah.
And we've all had the idea of like that kind of funny laddish kind of do a tasteful nude calendar as an idea. I'm like, oh, that'd be funny to do, but nobody ever does it because it's not the right. It's a joke. You shouldn't do it, but they're going ahead and doing.
That's the thing.
Which is the energy that we like.
It's nice that they're jumping into it, and like he was talking about the way that they produced the podcast, and on a technical level, it's not ideal.
Yeah,
but they're like
doing it.
25 episodes in, and like, fuck it, we're doing it anyway. Which is like, that's the attitude that you need.
Yeah, and that's the attitude that we like, and the attitude we wanna encourage.
Yeah,
it's just like, well, we're just gonna do it anyway. No, well, you need this, you need that, you need that. It's like, no, you can just use your phone.
Yeah, and
just go out there, and as long as you're enjoying it, people will enjoy listening to it. And as long as you enjoy doing it, what are you losing?
Yeah,
just keep it up, keep it going on. So yeah, it was nice to actually socialise with fellow podcasters. There's some others that I'd like to get in touch with, but it comes a time factor, I think, for both of us. So,
are we ever going to have a face-off with Ragbag?
I think we could.
After all of that crap that you started last year?
I think so. It's from my side of the podcast, it's a question of how much time you have. Because I think it'd be quite cool to do do other people's podcasts face to face or do interviews with other people. Yeah, but that would be like a full day / a weekend deal of driving 4 hours, setting up, driving back, all that kind of stuff. And you go just in terms of time. I don't know how much time you'd have available. Oh yeah. Like for something like an excursion, it's not like it'd be boring. It doesn't seem like it doesn't feel like wasted time. Like it's still interesting. Yeah, it would just be more time towards the podcast as opposed to other endeavours for that thing, which would be the question, I guess. But if it's not like 3 times a week, it doesn't really matter. All right, fair play. Yeah. Then let's see, we could still have a marketing meeting. Yeah. We could just... in front of everybody without even telling each other. Yeah. Just figure it out. Oh, we're doing this. So I feel like that's kind of feels like the natural progression for us. Is one, we want to do more interviews and we need to start setting that up. But in order to do more interviews, we need to learn how to fucking interview people. So might as well go and try and find some people who know how to interview and try and get in chat with them. So yeah, also a bit more productivity. Officially, we now have a glory finding the video leader. Oh. Jesus Christ, this is dramatic. All hail Liz. All hail Liz. Yeah, we officially now have a glorious leader. Yeah. Which we set into motion over a month ago. And in true Pulling Teeth podcast style, we just didn't do anything for a long time. Then my eye died, and I was like, well, might as well get involved. Well, this will help.
That's half of all things that I don't have to concentrate on now. I can just turn all my attention to this.
Yeah. So there was quite a few applicants. We did narrow it down. We did try and introduce this in earlier episodes, but when I was watching it back, it always came across just kind of flat. Yeah. So I thought, like, no, we need to figure out what it is. We know what it is. We need to get in the right mind frame to release it. So yeah, Liz is now our glorious leader.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to keep our eyes out, try and see if there's any kind of subconscious signs within nature or anything like that that's kind of be given out to us. I mean, I saw this earlier today.
Clouds.
Does that seem good? Is that goodly? Is that prosperous imagery?
Did you see negative? All hail Liz in the sky?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, obviously you're going to see that because that's the message she wants to put across.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She not to question our glorious leader, but is that not somewhat egotistical for the message to put across is all hail me?
That's not egotistical. It's more just like, this is the deal. I'll give you glorious wisdom.
Okay.
And forewarning of future events.
This is wisdomous.
Well, it's very blue, isn't it? Very blue. That's she did in our interview in Stoke-on-Trent, off camera. She did say that she would communicate largely through the sky. So I thought, well, I'll keep an eye out on the sky.
Okay.
And see. So what do you think? Mostly. What do you think she's trying to say?
What in that?
Yeah. There must be a message. There's obviously a message in there somewhere, and we need to figure out what it is. And that's going to be That's got to be. We've got to keep an eye on it. I'd say it's calm.
Okay.
Right, it's quite calm.
Does that look calm to you?
I can't.
That looks ominous to me.
I've got the still image.
That's
so
clouds rolling in over mountains. That's like the storm is coming.
Well, the mountains. That's going to be strength, isn't it?
Okay.
So clouds rolling over mountains. Our strength will be tested.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
What else? I can't. I lost an eye watching it the first time.
I can't imagine what clouds look like. So, and I definitely didn't make this video.
But yeah, it's just I don't even make the sky, Steve. But yeah, so our strength will be tested. We need to keep an eye out on.
But there is some positivity in there. The sun is like kind of coming through.
Is that hope? There is hope.
There's hope.
Yeah, there's hope.
Yeah.
So long as our strength is strong.
Yeah. And there's a giant Pulling Teeth advertisement in the bottom left-hand corner. Which
that's good for us.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think good things will come for us.
Yeah.
If we pursue hope and maintain our strength.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
All right.
Anyway. I think that's the best take we're going to get. That's what I mean. Every time we did it before, it's like, neither of us really know what this is. We're just kind of playing with it. And I've done it before, and we'll just bail. Yeah. But that seems like all right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. That's the first message from Liz. All hail Liz.
All hail Liz. All right.
In other news. Oh, wow. I start off here, do I? Okay. A dad took an 11-month-year-old to a drug deal as a human shield. The baby was shot multiple times.
Oh. What? Why?
Right off the bat.
What?
I must have thought about that. I'm putting that at the top.
Why?
Well, it's kind of logical. I mean, basically, he thought that if he brought a baby to a drug
shoot
deal,
the baby.
They won't shoot him because he's got a baby in the car. Turns out drug dealers don't really mind.
No, I couldn't imagine they give two fucks. Like, is it like the cartel? They slaughter like children and women and like everything every day.
No, I think it's just a small one, but right, he's not really a hero.
Little cartel. Don't do a small cartel.
Right, he's not a heroic figure so far, right?
No,
I'd
not
say,
at all.
No, if he's taking a baby as a human shield, I'd probably say he's not really a hero. But it gets worse. It turns out the reason he took the baby with him was because he thought that the gang would be very angry with him. And the reason he thought that was because he kept on buying drugs from them with counterfeit money. So he was going in with, I don't know, Woolworths vouchers or something. Give me some drugs.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that. They don't like counterfeit money. They like real money, these gangs.
Yeah.
And he was going in there again to buy more drugs with more counterfeit money.
Why? If you get away with it once. So was he dealing? Was he on the chain of commerce, or was it like?
It sounds like he was
going
an addict
for like personal use.
Yeah, it sounds like he had a bit of a warped judgment. So I'm assuming he was ingesting a lot of these drugs.
Yeah. Well, if you're a drug addict, you probably shouldn't have a baby anyway.
Might as well get rid of it from a drug deal.
Jesus Christ.
The baby sustained gunshot wounds to the head, torso, and rear of his body. Police previously said that if the baby did survive, then he wouldn't have a chance at a full recovery. So he'd been like, the baby was just doomed, is basically what they're saying. After the shooting, Monroe, this is the heroic father, did not rush his son to the hospital, but instead drove him to a house. According to Vokey, I guess is somebody, when he did take the 11-month-old to hospital, he never looked back and kind of walked into the wind. So, like, this is the similar thing of, like, the reality of the situation must have hit him. The same with that, I can't remember what the guy's profession was, but he went to hospital with his kids in the car, went out to work. He was a nurse or a doctor or something. Yeah. And then he came back and didn't realise that his babies were in there and they died. Yeah. And just the grief.
Yeah, because he was meant to take them to nursery on the way to work or something like that.
He thought he dropped them off.
He thought he dropped them off.
He didn't.
And it was a hot day.
So this is like that, but with a shooting. So, like, the grief of it, the reality of everything must eventually sink in. And then he gives it to a hospital and then just kind of just walks away and then just, like, probably kills himself. He never looked back and went into the wind, so to speak. Monroe, who also uses the alias Nafis and Knifes, was wanted on probation warrant and was using counterfeit money to purchase drugs. Now, he did, to be fair to this father, he did go on to say, on account of the counterfeit money is something that is very upsetting to drug dealers. This is him. This is his statement. Hands up. I am aware that lots of drug dealers, they don't like counterfeit money. And when they find out that they're being burned with counterfeit money, they act violently.
This is surreal. So he's talking about it as though he took his kid to, like, a den of hungry wolves. It's like, well,
I know they're going to be violent.
And, when wolves are hungry, and we can't blame the wolves. Like, you know, nature is nature. Yeah. Can't blame the drug dealers.
But just that whole thing of, like, you know what will make this life or death situation easier is if I rope my baby into it.
That's insane. So, like, did he... I mean, why would you take your kid, I guess?
Well,
but, like...
there is some logic in it.
Did he say that it was because he thought...
Yeah, he said intentionally had a child with him. So this is the quote. It's our belief and our investigation has led us to believe that the father intentionally had his child with him when he was making such types of purchases with the idea or belief that if someone saw that he had a child in a car, they wouldn't fire upon him. Which, again, there's some logic there. It's twisted crack logic.
Yeah.
But there's some logic there, so it's probably how it happened. I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's probably how it went down. But just... No, don't do that.
Christ
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
And kids, don't do parents who do drugs.
No.
Or whatever.
You haven't got a choice, but...
In other similar news, wild boar in Tuscany have sniffed out and destroyed a stash of cocaine in a forest, leaving drug dealers £17,000 out of pocket.
And boars wired out of their fucking mind. Like, boars are already pretty unpredictable, quite aggressive... But, like,
now
boars
they're on coke.
Like, completely coked up.
Now they're making films.
And not even that. Like, there's now, like, weeks where you've got boar coke addicts trying to find a fix.
Roaming the forest.
Yeah.
Just looking for bags of powder. It's partly devoured by feral hogs, this big stash of coke was. So they knew when to stop, is what it seems to be saying.
No, that's enough. That's...
I feel like I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
I don't want to mong out too much or get up too high. The drug dealers were heard complaining about their discovery by police who were listening in on a telephone conversation. So these drugs...
the pigs have had all the coke, mate.
Sebastian, we're low on the delivery this week. Why? Boars? I think boars. Did you take it again? No, it was boars. Trust me, it was boars.
It was boars.
Police just listen. Fair enough. Vigilante boars. The gang, who were made up of 1 Italian and 3 Albanians, that's a pretty small gang, had buried the Class A drug in jars and were allegedly trafficking around 2 kilos of cocaine every month to Siena and Arezzo. I just like the one wiretaps are still happening, which makes so much sense, but the term wiretapping doesn't sound modernised.
Yeah.
Because what wiretapping is just listening into people's conversations And if you're doing it on a mobile phone, you can't really tap. Before it was like a physical, you put a thing into it.
Yeah.
Now it feels like you could just find out their Google password.
There's no wires.
And figure it out.
Yeah.
The drug dealers are not the only people concerned with the influx of wild boar in Italy. Farmers are protesting in Rome earlier this month over the animals wreaking havoc on their land and causing fatal car accidents.
Well, yeah, if they're coked out of their mind.
Driving cars, stealing trucks. These boars, once they've gotten the cokey going, they're going to go mental.
Fucking paying for coke with fake truffles.
My baby's in the car. There's about 2 million boar roaming Italy, according to the president of the Farming Association. Is there enough coke to fuel all these boars? That's the question.
I don't know. I've watched videos of, because there's like a boar problem in Texas or something.
Okay.
And
there was like is a boar a wild pig?
Yeah, like Pumbaa. And like
who's the crazy metal guy in Texas who flies around in a helicopter shooting pigs?
Oh yeah, that's what I was watching. Yeah.
What's his name? He's a famous musician.
Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent.
Yeah, just like flying around in a helicopter, gunning down boars with a machine gun. It's just fucking mental.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, well, you don't have to take glee in it, but it does kind of have to be done.
Yeah. Well, same with all kind of hunting licenses and stuff like that.
I mean, don't be cruel. Take them out as quickly as possible.
And what's faster than a helicopter?
And a machine gun. And Ted Nugent.
What's more fast than Ted Nugent?
Yeah.
Nothing. So yeah, and maybe they'll start resorting to that in Rome. In other news, hang on, I just want to double check where I am.
This is a boar. This is a boar on coke.
It's taking over Rome.
This is Ted Nugent.
The antithesis of a boar fucked up on coke. I just like the phrasing of this headline. I don't know how interesting this is. Doctors have warned of the danger of feather duvet lung. And this is people's lungs getting irritated by
How fragile
feathers.
do you have to be where you can be slowly killed by a duvet?
Well, I'm in that camp. But I don't have that, so I don't have feather duvets. I get allergies and all that shit.
Most people don't now. They have, it's like hollow fibre stuff.
This was the big thing I was going to I'd never found a feather duvet comfortable.
No.
Because you can feel
they
spikes.
just end up sticking in you.
Yeah, you just feel these stabby sticks in them.
He's got feather lung.
Well, it brings up kind of a valid point where you go to the doctors and they'll ask you about certain allergies, but they won't think to ask about feathers. It's basically what they're saying. So if you went in and you were having an allergic reaction, they'd ask if you've got any pets, if there's any animals in the area, if you've got anything in the garden, like certain type of things like that. But they wouldn't think of, what duvet have you got? And they think this is the point they're trying to make is basically
is your duvet made of boars?
Well, like cleaning products, people are allergic to everything. Right? There's going to be something they're going to be allergic to.
It can be anything. Yeah,
could be a diet. I think diet thing's the other big thing that they do. But say like, what kind of couch do you have? You know, all these things can have some kind of irritant on you. But to call it feather duvet lung, it just feels. I mean, people died.
I've heard of like popcorn lung, but I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Is it to do with like being allergic to the feathers, or is it like dust and fibres that come from the feathers that you breathe in?
I believe that's the thing.
Like asbestos, like that kind of thing.
I think it's specifically the dust on the feathers.
Right.
Yeah, the dust from the feathers in the bedding.
Right.
Causing lung inflammation. Symptoms include night sweats. It's always a weird thing to try and diagnose yourself with. I might just be sweating. A dry cough, a shortness of breath, repeated exposure can cause irreversible scarring of the lungs. So I guess that's similar if you have a constant cough. Yeah. Eventually that cough will scar you.
Yeah.
So get it checked out, says the guy with an eye patch when he shouldn't be wearing one. When they were talking about a victim, they said that his tests showed the man had unusually high antibodies towards particular proteins from birds, including pigeons and parrots. They also showed a pattern in his lungs that hinted at hypersensitivity pneumonitis, while his lung infection was significantly impaired. So they took blood tests of him, and they were like, looks like this is being caused by birds. Your blood test came back. What is it? Birds. They finally figured out that it could be this duvet thing. So when he got rid of it, the man showed clear improvements. And with the help of steroids, he was completely fine after 6 months.
Oh, yeah, but steroids cure everything.
Again, I'm not in that camp.
Yeah.
Penicillin and steroids, no.
No?
I can take steroids. I regularly take steroids.
Yeah.
But, they don't necessarily help me out that much. They just kind of keep me going.
Yeah.
They keep me breathing.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What we want.
And lastly, from me, British backpacker gave list of fetishes to a man on BDSM website. Her murder trial was told. So, this woman got murdered.
Yeah.
And her court defence, the jury, or the trial was told, yeah, but she did mention that she was quite into some stuff. Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Well, then that's fine.
Fine. How was she murdered?
I believe strangulation.
So...
And the point they're trying to make is that on the website that she used...
Oh, right. So, like, she was into, like, BDSM
yeah.
or just regular good old-fashioned strangulation.
yeah.
What's it called?
Autoerotic...
asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation, yeah. We studied that in drama when I was 16.
Why?
There was some play about it. And we had these
It's quite dramatic.
We had these two consultants come in, and they'd done some theatre writing, and they were like, "Oh, we just did a book on something in Brooklyn," and they were like, "Oh, we should cover this story," and it involved autoerotic strangulation.
Oh, right. So let's look into that further. Yeah.
Well, it seems becoming more and more popular. Like I say, it's certainly dipping its way into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Of people enjoying it.
Is it one of those things that's getting more popular, or is it just that people have always done it, but now it's getting more attention because it's in...
I reckon probably both.
Proper media.
More people have been introduced to the idea.
Curious.
Yeah, and tried that out. It's been in films and television for years.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, you go like, 10 years ago, this was on, television. And it was standard in stuff like Californication.
Yeah.
Stuff like House, all that kind of... All those TV shows. But like, this has been cultural knowledge for a while.
Yeah. And
kind of picking up at it now is like, fair enough, yeah. But they do kind of... I'll go into it a little bit. The defendant denies murder and claims that she died accidentally during consensual sex. One of the perils of autoerotic asphyxiation is...
It's a risk that I wouldn't want to take.
No. Again, each their own. But like... Again, it's not something that I necessarily have an opinion on. It's not something that I particularly understand. But I imagine that once you experience it, it's probably going to change your perspective on it, either for the better or the worse.
Yeah.
Like, probably the same as, like, I don't know, The Dark Knight Rises. Like, after you've watched Heath Ledger's Joker, you might be like, oh, this is really good. Or, oh, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Same with strangling yourself. Her Whippler profile, I mean, they go into... keep on using her name. Yeah, it's the Tinder, but for more BDSM-y stuff.
Right, okay.
I haven't used it.
So there is evidence to back it up.
Yeah. They met on a website or this app.
Right.
That explicitly said that they will encourage these kind of activities.
Right.
So there is, by dating on this app, you've got a higher risk of causing yourself a problem. Shouldn't
you watch a YouTube tutorial or something before you start? Before you start doing that shit.
Well, like I said before,
you need to know when to stop. Is it the responsibility of the other person to tell you when to stop, or do you need to recognize certain signs? And also, if you choke someone out, like once they're unconscious, like maybe stop choking them and revive them. Like that is possible, isn't it?
Should be. But then maybe not enough people know their first aid to bring back someone that is passed out. Or it's more than passed out, isn't it, when you die? But I've said it before, where I don't think people fall in love with a person's attribute. They fall in love with an idea. And to bring that romantic thought around, I've strangled some people, but I've never restricted their airway. No. Because it's not about being... Well, I think with this, it's more... physical.
Yeah.
Like, it's about being oxygen deprived that causes the change in feeling.
It's the risk.
Maybe. But you kind of get that from the being restrained, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And again, not something I'm particularly into. It's just it's just becoming more and more popular with people who are willing to spend time with me.
Yeah.
So long as I die at the end of it, then I don't have to tell anybody. But yeah, just... So I don't know how much of it is just like people with poor judgment doing it or whatever. But it feels like I would never do it because I don't want to be this guy.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to people wanting to do somewhat dangerous or somewhat on paper, this looks bad and kind of stuff. I go like, I don't want to be the person in the paper.
Yeah. Wasn't there there was a famous actor that died. He was, a few years ago from autoerotic asphyxiation. It's like this guy's done like films and like quite critically acclaimed, but the last thing that anyone ever knows of him is him like just choked out in a hotel room with his dick in his hand.
What's that guy from Richard Gere?
Yeah,
he could do as many films as he wants, but he's always known as the gerbil guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, well, it's your story, I guess.
Yeah. Was that ever actually true?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's just one of those Hollywood rumours?
Yeah, and it's
like
just
Harvey
a myth
Weinstein.
It sounds
bollocks.
Just one of those things that once you say that, those words sound so good. They got a good beat between each of them. That Richard Gere is the name that sounds right, so therefore it's true.
Yeah.
One of those things. But yeah, no, I've had people who wanted to do very dangerous things and didn't want to have any safety boundaries.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, no, because you can then just go to the police and tell them that I raped you. And I didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have that discussion.
There's too much crazy in the world to...
Yeah. And again, it's good. People need to explore themselves. They need to, try things out. But just understand, you have to accept as well that it's real. That we have to live in the real world. Yeah. And as much as you may not want to, you may want to live in the fantasy, you have to accept... I can't say fantasy while wearing an eye patch. But yeah, you need to accept that this is what you want out of the world, but this is the real world, and where's the in between? And maybe it's just a case of that where they just didn't know what they were doing or something like that, or they didn't want to do it. The man told the court he may have put his hand on her neck during sex without her asking, but that he couldn't remember and that he usually did it because girls usually enjoy it. Again, not something that I find completely unbelievable.
No.
They were seen walking arm in arm a short distance into the lobby of a hotel where they were staying. She was shown following the defendant out of a lift at 9:41. Last time she was seen alive. Now, this is where it gets a bit weird. The defendant admitted putting her body inside a suitcase and burying it in the Rangers, like a woodland area. I put her in a suitcase and buried her in the woods.
Wouldn't you?
I watched the YouTube videos.
Yeah, this is what they say. Yeah. Oh, this was a murder video.
This was the wrong.
This was a mistake, Your Honour.
So he admitted to that, and the defence has now closed its case, with the defendant deciding not to give any evidence. I think you did give some evidence when you said, it's true, I buried her in the woods in a suitcase.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of going to be the end of you.
Yeah, so. You'd assume, if it was an accident. I mean, you can't say what you do in the height of...
Yeah, the shock, the grief, the craziness of it. But you could probably do anything.
Call somebody.
Yeah, it's not that it doesn't scream innocent when you're trying to disguise it ever happened. Yeah. That's where it gets if you want to pretend it never happened, you must know that what you did was wrong. Yeah. That doesn't scream innocent to me. So you have to be yes, my life's going to change forever. It's regarded. I mean, I watched, there's a Keanu Reeves film called Replicas, which it wasn't very good, but it was on Netflix. Basically about the old Frankenstein-y thought of can you bring people back from the dead? Right, yeah. And the frantic notion of going around trying to revive a dead family member, for example, is you just trying to avoid the knowledge that your life has changed forever. Because if say you're in love with somebody and they died, you brought them back to life, is everything going to be the same?
No.
You watched her die. You're a different person already.
Yeah.
Then you've watched her come back to life.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you so weird? the relationship will change.
It's a whole thing.
So I think that whole being struck with shock and all that and trying to get things back to normal is always doomed.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single example where that's worked out for anybody.
Yeah. Although, conversely, if you were going to murder her, surely the most sensible thing would be to call the police afterwards.
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah,
because you've got all these messages that say, that she's into this and all that. It completely corroborates your story.
Yeah. I mean, there must come a point.
And
We've
be
said
like,
before.
well, there's more chance of me getting through that than there is of me getting away with burying someone in the woods.
Suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where don't force her into a suitcase. Don't force someone. Cramp.
Crazy cramp.
Are you of the salt or not salt camp?
What do you mean?
If you got cramp, you either need salt or you don't need salt. And apparently it's very divisive.
Is that a thing?
Was when I was at school. The other one is pinching between your big and second toe.
I've never heard that before.
That one works for me.
Pinching between the big and second toe?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like with
Grab your fingers.
Yeah.
Pinch, like the webbing.
Oh, right.
In between your big and second toe.
And that stops your hamstring cramping up?
Yeah. Because the cramp is just lactic acid, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a build-up of lactic acid that gets trapped in there.
We'll
and
just
lactic
leave
acid
that leg
is bad.
straight. All right.
Yeah, and pinching it is, that fixes climate change, so
Yeah.
just does that.
Sorry, I've completely railroaded this whole story.
But yeah, you know there's some part of you that feels guilty when you're stuffing a corpse into a suitcase.
Yeah. Like,
Basically what I'm saying.
if there isn't some part of you that's like, not sure this is right.
I feel
not
like
sure
I might
about
be doing
this.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Just confess.
Yeah.
That's the point I was making is people are fighting the inevitable change of their lives, and fortunately you can't. You have to accept. Now I'm this person. Now I'm this person who's watched you accidentally strangled somebody.
Yeah.
And you have to live with that for the rest of your life. And there's part of you that wants to forget it ever happened. You just go, no, sadly, this is you now.
Yeah.
Go get a job. Go back to work.
Get a job.
Whatever.
Yeah. Not strangling people or...
Yeah, don't strangle someone.
Yeah.
If anything, don't never strangle someone again.
Yeah. No, even animals. Even a pig. Even if it really wants it.
Even if it's massively coked up. Don't choke a wild boar in Rome.
Oh. Total missed opportunity. Sorry.
This is true. Yeah. It's a definite pig fact.
Yeah.
Pig fact. They've got loads of coke.
It's involving pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't choke out a coked up pig.
Pig. It's like pig advice. Yeah.
I haven't got a soundbite for that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's me this week.
All right. Just go into it.
Steve's collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
In an economy drive in the year 2000, Britain's Royal Navy saved £5 million by ditching live rounds for trainee gunners in favour of them just shouting bang instead.
Hey, it's definitely cheaper.
It makes sense. Doesn't quite get you used to live combat, though. But
Yeah, it feels like it should be a worthwhile expense.
But doesn't it feel? It feels like, I don't know. Do you ever go on a course and be like, "This isn't all it's. I could have done this at home."
Yeah. I could have done this from the bath.
Yeah. Bang. What's he doing? He's in the Navy.
Yeah, he's winning.
He's got a little boat and everything.
Submarines are weird. I don't trust submarines.
There is something odd about them.
It's just very strange. I mean, just number one, just living under the sea, just inside what is basically a gherkin, and just be like a bunch of
War
people.
gherkin.
Yeah, just like looking for boats.
Yeah,
and avoiding octopus. And you just be like, you just hear the sea trying to kill you all day.
Yeah. What happens to a submarine in a storm? Anything? Can they? Because there's still currents.
Yeah, still fuck them around.
Yeah.
I guess you have to react to it. They probably have a lot of topical weather stuff.
But maybe you could just drop down. So
you're further enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, like, what? I mean, there's the other thing is, they can't carry a huge amount.
Yeah.
It's like I think that brought me back was I think I saw a torpedo, and I was like, that's massive.
Yeah.
Like in relation to the size of the submarine.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they could hold 4.
Yeah.
So like 4 torpedoes, and then they have to go home.
Yeah.
Just be like, well, it's a really slow, really chilled, really dark existence.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go back outside.
All right. What would bother you more? Falling out of the sky in a plane or sinking down into the ocean in a submarine? Neither of them work. Like, you're probably going to die either way.
Sinking's just slower and more annoying.
Oh.
If you were falling, there's a part of you that could enjoy the intensity. Do you know what I mean? You're going so fast.
Yeah, and you get that whole adrenaline spike of like, we're about to die. Like,
yeah, and like you can see for miles. You know, you can aim for like, I don't know, someone's house.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm going to fall into Derek's house. Fuck Derek. It's like, yeah. I think you could really get into falling into your death.
You'd rather be in a plane crash.
Oh, a plane crash, you say? When you say when you said falling, I imagine like falling out of a plane. So I guess, in a plane.
In a plane, falling out of the sky. A submarine's failed and a plane has failed. They're both sinking, essentially.
Yeah.
One out of the sky, one into the depths.
I'd rather, again, be in the plane.
Yeah.
More doom. As in, like, I imagine you could probably survive being in a sinking submarine for a while, and then there could be an aspect of trying to survive and get out. But even if... So, I'm saying, even if I had a choice between surviving in a submarine or dying in a plane crash, I'd choose dying in a plane crash.
Yeah, I think plane's got to be the way to go, because dying in a submarine, there's no impact. Plane, very quick. As soon as you reach the ground, you're gone. Like, there's no... Yeah. There's no possibility of you surviving in like crashing in a jetliner or something like that. There's just, it's not going to happen. The slides, the oxygen masks, ignore it. None of it works. It's all nonsense. But a submarine,
oxygen masks are good though.
It's like, well, eventually we might hit some kind of cliff face and then be stuck there, and then we'll all be starved of oxygen and we'll all just die.
Or like the water would just pour.
We'll just keep sinking to the bottom of the ocean. And
then just the weight of the world.
The weight of the world will crush everything in this little tin can.
You've ever imagined?
Yeah, no, submarines are weird, but there's a whole buoyancy thing, so I imagine like engine failure isn't going to make a submarine sink.
Yeah, but just being in a thing with loads of people slowly falling to your death just feels more frustrating. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I'm happy up in this plane screaming. Yeah. Go out all like 90s hair metal.
Yeah.
This guy's really happy that he's going to die.
Yeah. Well, you've only got a few more minutes.
Well, the other thing is that still one of the funniest things that I've ever seen are people dying in horrific helicopter crashes. And I just feel like it would be somewhat poignant if I died in some kind of airline accident.
Yeah.
I can't remember what your position on that was. Are helicopter crashes the funniest way to die? Because they are for me.
They're pretty hilarious.
It's so
chaos, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just like, you shouldn't be able to do this. There's no reason why any human being should be able to just hover in the sky.
Yeah.
And the audacity that somebody's trying, and then just the wind says, "Fuck you." Just blows in the wrong direction and they get annihilated.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
I haven't figured out the funniest way to die, or the most chaotic way to die, or whatever the hell it was.
For me, it's still the bride surprising her groom at her wedding.
Yeah.
By getting her cousin to fly her by helicopter, and they just smashed into a whole bunch of telephone poles.
That was good.
That was just the best.
I mean, not for her, and not for anyone involved.
Hey, no, I think so. I want to say that's the best. It's tragic, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But it's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, how was the wedding? Well, my wife died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
What? And then you could riff off of that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy drowning during the proposal was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. The American Civil War saw much bloodshed as the Union of Northern States set about enforcing a new set of laws that would make the Confederacy of the Southern States give up their 89-year stint of keeping black people as pets. And unlike
pets. Pets.
Essentially.
Well, pets sounds loving. You know what I mean? Pets sounds like there's some kind of care. There's like, I'm going to take my pets out for a walk. Oh, I'm going to dress up my pets for Christmas. I think it's... I think the difference between pets and property, I think, is definitely a jump. You don't go out to smash your pets in the face.
No, it's true. Anyway, just brushing that one under the rug. An unlikely victim of this war was Douglas the Camel, affectionately known by his peers in the 43rd Mississippi Infantry's Camel Regiment as Old Douglas. As part of the Texas camel experiment, in lieu of horses, Old Doug would carry instruments and knapsacks during the war for his fellow slave enthusiasts until his untimely death when he was assassinated by the Union sharpshooters. The Confederacy avenged Dougie's death, sending 6 of their best snipers to take out the camel killer. Old Douglas, having fought valiantly in the Lucca campaign and the Battle of Corinth before his untimely death in the Siege of Vicksburg, can be found today at Cedar Hill Cemetery in Mississippi. His grave, etched with a Confederate flag and a camel, notes that he was faithful and patient.
He fought bravely, that camel.
Old Doug. Yeah.
Okay, is this? Yeah. Did he fight bravely, or did he just carry stuff
just
around?
There? Yeah. So they started this. They said that
was he just walking around the battlefield saying, "All these slave owners, it's weird that they've brought their pets out to fight for them." How odd.
Yeah. That was that was for humour. That's not how I feel.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
just to make that clear before someone comes and takes it out of context.
Heaven forbid.
I was trying to talk about Doug the Camel.
Yeah.
Brush over all this slavery nonsense.
I'm not thinking about the economical struggles of a pet owner who needs to buy enough food for a human-sized pet.
Yeah. That was it. It was part of the Texas Camel Experiment, which sounds like a band to me. But it was something that they were the government of the Confederacy were trying out because if they could use camels instead of horses, they wouldn't need to give them supplies as often, like water and all of that, because the horses. So they was trying it out with camels, and it didn't really work. Like, they didn't they'd follow you around and stuff. They didn't like being tethered. They spooked other horses. Like there was one instance where they caused a stampede. But there was this one left, Old Douglas, and he was with
good
this he was with this infantry, and after he was taken out by a sharpshooter, like his infantry avenged his death.
As if they targeted the camel.
I know.
They love that camel.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
Yeah, well, they were nicknamed the Camel Infantry, so it's like, well, what are you now?
Yeah. Make them doubt their own existence. I hate to think
Call us pets.
Yeah. I hate to think what Texas is doing now. I mean, they tried the camel experiment. It sounds a lot like they're trying the tiger experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Tigers. Horses. Tigers.
Yeah. Camels didn't work. Horses, we've done horses.
Yeah, we're tired of
We've all
horses
seen John Wayne.
now.
Like, yeah, we're going with tigers. It's
more camouflaged, apparently.
Yeah, not in Texas.
Not that much orange.
Yeah.
In Idaho.
Yeah.
I guess wheat, like some farmland, maybe. Have you seen a tiger leap out of grass?
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Surprisingly.
For a bright orange creature.
Yeah, like, why can't I see you? Yeah, it is strange.
Yeah, makes you
strange
that
it works.
Guess.
But then, I think you're just so used to seeing them out of context, I guess. Like, a big reason why tigers are camouflaged and that is because they go hunting at dusk. So everything's orange and black. So like it's all like it's all like orange sunlight when the sun's setting and stuff.
Day. They're really camouflaged.
Really camouflaged, and it's still like yellow grass, yellow orange maybe. I don't know. It's strange, but apparently that's also
Sand.
It's not their fur either. If you shave it, their skin's striped.
Oh.
Which is weird. I don't think they've got orange skin, but they've got black stripes across.
All over this.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's a bonus scum fact, though. Candice Bergen's father, Edgar, was a famous ventriloquist and arsehole.
Oh, what a gravestone.
During her early years, Candice would sit across the breakfast table from her father and her brother, Charlie, or at least the dummy that Edgar had convinced her was her brother, as he sat in stoic silence every morning, saying nothing to Candice while her and Charlie chatted away. Candice only found out that she was an only child when she opened her father's wardrobe one day and found 5 different Charlies hanging inside.
Oh, that's horrific. That's like that moment of realization of like, one, Dad's hung my brother and cloned him 5 times. Not only that is my dad hung my brother. He's done it 5 times.
Yeah. Like, it didn't go too far into her life. She was 3 years old when she found out.
Yeah.
But it's still like, that's some early development there. And like, Dad, where's my brother gone?
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's always fun little fucked up stuff you want to do to your kids. There must be, right?
yeah.
I mean, like, take your nephew, for example, right?
Okay.
I have got a friendship with your nephew where he doesn't trust anything I say anymore because of the nonsense and surreal stuff that I'd educate him with every single time I met him.
Yeah.
Convinced him he was a werewolf.
Yeah.
Told him that like wasps knit sweaters for someone in particular in their village or something like that. Or just nonsense, absolute nonsense that I just find funny to say. There must be a sense of wanting to do that to your child as well, like your own child.
There is a
you shouldn't because they should
nonsense,
trust you.
But convincing them through ventriloquism that they have a brother
through the dark arts of ventriloquism that they've got a friend in this world, and they don't. Yeah, I'm just a little stupid thing. I mean,
but if you had that skill, you would use it for something like that. You would fuck with your kids like that, or other people's kids. You'd make all kinds of shit talk. Like, it
well,
would
if people
just be one of
steal
those
your
things.
nose when you're a kid, they're gonna like make you think that the oven wants to melt you, and just whatever, just throw it out there to try and freak them out.
Yeah,
that's how they learn about the real world.
Yeah. Don't go near the oven. Yeah.
Don't trust Uncle Jack.
That pig's on coke. But that's me this week.
All right. Yeah, somewhat productive. Still going to try and pursue more productive things.
Yeah.
Once I get my eye back, which should be within 2 weeks.
Best 2 weeks.
We'll see.
2 weeks. So maybe more eye patch Nick next week.
Maybe. Yeah. But maybe I'll go all... Oh, that was it. Last week I was talking about Greek mythology. Today I become a Cyclops.
Oh, right.
You know,
that's the thread.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to think of it earlier. Yeah, this is how it started last week, wasn't it? But yeah, next week I might mix it up with the Cyclops from X-Men. Not bandage, but thing over his eye. Yeah. Either that or I'll be dead.
We'll see.
Keep an eye on the skies.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for planes losing control.
Yeah.
And some guy going all hair metal.
And submarines.
And submarines. Always be wary. So yeah. I'm at Nick Snip.
I am at Sing It Steve.
We are at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
You can email us at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com. Send us your articles. Send us anything you want us to look at. I had a mate send me one the other day, but I haven't had a look through it properly yet.
Okay.
So I'll cover it next week.
That's cool. That's the biggest fun for us is just playing around with other people.
Yeah.
We also got the Facebook page and the website www.pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yeah, so go there and interact and have a look around.
Sure, that's where everything is.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, on to next week.